Start again, axe all of that, axe everything. Hiya, welcome to Craftwerk. I'm Ruthie, and first of all, I just want to apologise that there wasn't a video last week. I've suddenly got really busy. I'm self-employed, so I take projects and jobs as they come, and I'm working on some really exciting things at the moment. As much as I love it, it can't take priority over my paid work. So yeah, I'm trying to be kind to myself, and I hope you can forgive me as well. Today's video is all about Me Made May. Now, if you haven't heard of it, it's a challenge which was started by Zoe of the blog Sozo What Do You Know, or Sozo blog on Instagram. She started it as a personal challenge, but she put it out there to see if anyone else wanted to get involved, and it's taken the sewing community by storm. It's in its 9th year now, and it's basically encouraging people to take on personal challenges to do with wearing and loving their handmade clothes. This is the first year that I've taken part. Last year I didn't really have, I think I just started a Instagram account and maybe a WordPress blog that was very inactive at that point. But this year I decided to get involved properly because I am a lot more involved in the sewing community in general, and I thought it would be a fun way to sort of test out my handmade wardrobe, particularly at the start of the summer. And my pledge was to wear all Me Made every day throughout May, excluding underwear, because I just haven't really made any underwear, so socks, bras, pants, etc. So anyway, I thought I would share my thoughts on what I'd learnt, because it is a very personal thing. And yeah, these are very personal thoughts on Me Made May and my experience with taking part in the challenge for the first time in 2018. So the first thing I learned is that I still need to include outerwear, or I need to sew more outerwear or whatever. Very early on, I realised that as well as underwear, I needed to include a raincoat, and I think on May the 1st it was raining, and I wrote that my pledge needed to change from all Me Made except underwear to all Me Made except underwear and raincoat. As that went on, that all fell by the wayside really, because I realised that I wanted to wear other light jackets, not just my raincoat, and needed to wear other light jackets, not just my raincoat. And actually all my Me Made jackets are more autumn winter focused, and this month in London has been quite up and down weather-wise, which is not unusual for London, but it's been quite hot on a number of days, certainly for London. And when London gets hot, it can often get humid and muggy, but sometimes it's also windy and a bit chilly. It still gets colder at night, so I need a light jacket. My raincoat is not necessarily appropriate for everything I want to do, and because it's pink, it also doesn't go with everything I want to wear. So I have a couple of denim jackets. There's definitely room in my wardrobe for some more outerwear. What I'm wearing right now has been an outfit that I have absolutely loved in May, but it doesn't meet my criteria. It doesn't meet my pledge at all. It's a Me Made jumpsuit. It's the peppermint jumpsuit by In the Fold, and then it is a ready-to-wear Topshop cardigan, I think, from years ago, that my partner's mum bought me once for Christmas, and I have loved it and worn it loads. It's like a maxi length cardigan. I could make this. I have the Blackwood cardigan pattern by Helen's Closet, and I could definitely use that to make something very similar to this. I may need to lengthen it, but honestly, whilst I love wearing all Me Made, and I do hope to one day have an almost, if not completely, Me Made wardrobe, it's not a priority to replace things that are still wearable just because they're ready to wear. It's more a priority to fill gaps in my wardrobe with Me Made rather than buying something. And so this isn't a gap in my wardrobe because it's wearable, it's still in a good condition, and it still fits me and I still like the style. So I don't need to replace it, so I'm not going to. That being said, my pledge was trying to sort of encourage me to just wear my me-made stuff, but I don't have any cardigans that I've made. But generally, moving forward, I am keen to make a few more sort of light jackets or lighter outerwear garments, maybe another trench coat in something that isn't as heavy as the moleskin that I have made my Londres trench coat out of. The second thing is the big thing. Taking pictures every day of my outfit is not realistic. It's important to signpost this by saying this is not what Zoe of the Sozo blog, this is not what Me Made May is about. This is not what she says it's about. You can listen to her interview with the Love to Sew podcast with Helen and Caroline. They talk about how she finds it quite sad or worrying when people say they feel they can't take part in Me Made May because they don't want to share pictures of their outfit every day. So yeah, it's important to preface this little section with it is absolutely not required. However, that was also kind of part of my pledge, that I would share it either on my Instagram stories or on my feed, or just document it in some way. I then kind of put pressure on myself to take pictures every day, and when I fell off the bandwagon of that, when it had been like 2 or 3 days where I hadn't had the time to take a picture, I kind of just fell out of it completely. And I think that happens quite a lot with people. I completely stopped taking pictures. To be honest, I started not sharing as much on Instagram in general. I was spending a lot less time on social media simply because I had less time. And that's all great, and that's why I'm trying to sort of talk about this now and not beat myself up about it, but also kind of encourage other people to maybe get involved in these things, even if you are unsure about sharing your outfits every day. I still wrote down everything that I wore every day, which was really, really useful. I realised that I wore this exact outfit 5 times in May, which so yeah, I'm definitely a bit of an outfit repeater. There were loads of other outfits that I wore loads as well, and I don't mind being an outfit repeater. If I find an outfit that works and that I love, I want to wear it all the time. If I want to do this again next year, then I would definitely consider doing a different kind of pledge, which I'll talk about in a minute. But also, I think it would be much easier if I had a long mirror in a good location in my flat. Like, obviously I have a long mirror, but it's kind of in between our laundry basket and my sort of vanity table. And we live in a small flat, so moving it around, putting it somewhere else, it's not gonna be easy to do. So maybe if we move flats, I will kind of think about that when I'm planning the room, if there's someone, because in general I like to share my outfits, and it would be great if I don't have to set up a tripod every time I want to do that. So and just taking a mirror selfie would be fab. But I definitely can't take part in something like Me Made May to that capacity unless I really plan in advance how I'm going to take those pictures. Even though I knew I wanted to take part, because I did my pledge last minute, I didn't plan how I was going to take those pictures, and that's one of the reasons that I stopped taking pictures and stopped really properly participating in the social way. But I did keep participating, like, in my own little way. And that leads perfectly onto the third thing I learnt, which is making a pledge completely last minute is probably not sensible, and is kind of a recipe for disaster, because as I say, I just sort of went, well, I can't just say I'll wear Me Made every day because I do that anyway. That's not a challenge. I'll say I will wear head to toe Me Made except for underwear, and I'll post every day. And then that's the challenge. I didn't think it through. Even though I'd been thinking of it, I'd kind of put off properly considering it. I think thinking about what is possible with your lifestyle, with your location, with the weather, etc. is a really, really useful thing to do, and definitely trying to do completely me-made, I think for most people is going to be pretty difficult. So making a pledge last minute was definitely a bit of a learning curve and something that I will avoid if I get involved again next year. The fourth thing I learned, as well as being an outfit repeater, is that I wear multiple outfits every day. That sounds terrible. I don't wash all my clothes after one outfit. I don't believe in overwashing. That means that your clothes don't last as long. It's bad for the environment for a number of reasons. And generally I just try to avoid washing my clothes too much, but particularly because I wear multiple outfits a day. So for example, in the morning I take my dog for a walk, and obviously I kind of wear just like jeans and a jumper or something like that. And then I come home and sometimes I will do yoga, which obviously is another outfit entirely. And then I will get changed to work or go to meetings or go and do some teaching or whatever I need to do, to a more like kind of worky outfit. Like this combination, for example, is like the perfect level of casual form, you know, I don't need to ever be any more formal than this outfit basically. And then in the evening I take the dog for a walk again, and I might change or I might not. This outfit is fine if it's not raining or muddy or anything. And then in the evening I might go out, and then this outfit would work for that, but some of the others are maybe too formal. If I don't go out, then I change into slouchy clothes and maybe pajamas. Just that is my normal day, is quite a normal day for me, and that could be up to like 5 different outfits. So I hadn't really thought about that until I did Me Made May. And then I thought, well, obviously I'm not referring to my dog walking outfit or my yoga outfit, but maybe I'm referring to my work outfit. And then do I have to wear 2 full outfits of handmade? And I kind of got myself a little bit confused, but I feel like doing it, thinking about those things, means that maybe next time I can plan ahead for that as well and think about what I'm referring to when I'm talking about my Me Made May outfits, if that makes sense. And then the 5th thing kind of sums it all up, that there are loads of different pledges that people make and that could be made that don't necessarily involve like taking outfit shots every day. Definitely, as I said, it's not required. Even if you do decide that your pledge is to try and wear Me Made every day, that's fine. But actually, lots of people were really creative in different things that they were trying to achieve during Me Made May, and just using it as a month of like challenging their wardrobe and challenging them to use their handmade wardrobe in different ways, or challenging themselves to make specific things in May, which is also a really great idea, I think. For example, you could use it to just push yourself to make one thing every week, or to sew for 10 minutes a day, or to make sure you put aside an evening every week in May, or use the month of May to make that difficult thing that you have been wanting to make and just like work on and slowly work on and tackle that one project that you focus on throughout the month. Great. All of those things are possibilities and things that I will be thinking about next year. I think that it's an amazing challenge, and obviously Zoe has loads of different ideas of how it could be used. And as I say, it's good to listen to the episode of the Love to Sew podcast if you're interested in it, where they talk to Zoe about it, and she explains how it's never meant as a challenge to like put insane amounts of pressure on yourselves. I've seen some people post on Instagram about how it has made them maybe feel a little bit sad about their Me Made clothes, or maybe it makes them feel overly pressured. That is not the aim of it at all. I also put myself under pressure that just wasn't right. I did let that go quite quickly because I was so busy I kind of had to, but in some ways, because I felt so guilty about not keeping up to my pledge properly and certainly not sharing how I was doing in Me Made May, it kind of took me off Instagram altogether for like a week at a time sometimes. So that's not something that I want to do in the future. And it's certainly, as I say, no fault of the challenge at all. But having said that, a lot of people seem to feel this kind of pressure. I think that's a general thing to do with social media, of course, as well. There is a pressure in general to, you know, be active and good on social media for whatever reason, and, you know, work on personal branding and stuff. I certainly feel that as someone who is self-employed. I definitely feel like I have to be constantly engaged in it, and sometimes it's important to take a step back and look at things like Me Made May to realise that it's all about a personal journey as well. And sharing these things is great. That's why I'm making this video, to share my thoughts, but also to hear yours. I would love to hear if you took part, if you are thinking of taking part, if you didn't, why not, and what you learned from seeing everyone else's, because that's the other thing, is everyone is sharing outfit posts every day, like handmade outfit posts. There's just millions every day, and people get really creative with their pledges, they get really creative with their outfits, and it's really lovely, and it is a big celebration of handmade clothes and handmade things. So I really, really love that, and I have been so inspired this month, but I have also sometimes felt the pressure. I've definitely felt inspired to sew. I've not necessarily felt inspired to share my outfits, but that's great, and I want to take the things that I've learnt from this forward with my sewing planning. I definitely know where the gaps are now, which is always a useful thing. I talk about that a lot, and anything that can help me to really hone in on what things are going to be the most useful to make next, I think is a great thing. That's it from me this week. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. I am going to be back to weekly videos for now. So yeah, make sure you are subscribed if you haven't already. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and you can sign up to my newsletter on my blog as well, where I share all sorts of things, from my new videos and latest makes to my favourite things that I'm listening to and lusting over, and yeah, and lots of different things to do with sewing and a little bit more as well. Don't forget to leave a comment and give me a thumbs up if you liked it. I hope you have a fab week, and I will see you again next Sunday. Thanks for watching. Bye.